Solve the polynomial inequality and graph the solution set on a real number line. So we have x minus 2 times x plus 7, x minus 2 times x plus 7 less than or equal to 0. So to solve inequalities, we use something called the test point method. So the first step, I guess, is to factor, but that's already done for us. Then we set each piece equal to 0. So x minus 2 equals 0, x plus 7 equals 0. And you solve for x. So in the first case, we add 2 to both sides. That gives us x equals 2. And here we subtract 7 from both sides, and that gives us x equals negative 7. The next step is to take each of these answers and plot them on a number line. So again, first thing you do is factor, then you set each piece equal to 0, you solve, and you plot these on a number line. So negative 7 is here, and 2 is here. Okay, so now you pick test points. So you pick a number and you plug it into this. If it's true, you shade wherever you pick the number. If it's not true, then you don't shade. So the easiest number in the world to always pick is just 0. So let's check 0. So check 0. Good stuff. So we're just going to put a 0 where all the x's are. So we have 0 minus 2, parentheses, 0 plus 7, parentheses, less than or equal to 0. So that gives us negative 2 times 7, less than or equal to 0. So negative 14, less than or equal to 0. Yes. Yes, that is totally true, right? So because it's true and because 0 came from here, we shade here. So this is where we shade. If it was false, we would shade in the other places. Why? Because the pattern is always shade, no shade, shade, no shade, shade, no shade, shade, no shade. So it's true, and it came from here, so we shade. If it had been false, say it was like 2 less than or equal to 0, say it was that, then we would have shaded in the other parts. We would have shaded over here on the right and over here on the left. But it wasn't, right? It was false, or it was true rather. So we shaded here in the middle. So if it's true, you shade where you pick it from. If it's not true, you shade in the other spots. Okay, we're almost done. The last thing to do is figure out whether the negative 7 and the 2 are parentheses or brackets. It turns out if you have less thans or greater thans, they're both parentheses. And if you have less than or equal to's or greater than or equal to's, they're both brackets. So in this case, we have the equal to part, so they're both brackets. So the final answer should be, whoops, I put the brackets in the wrong direction. The brackets always face the shading, right? So in this case, the answer would be bracket negative 7, comma 2, right? Okay, that should be the answer. Let's type it in and see if we get it right. So the solution set is bracket negative 7, comma 2. Check answer, good stuff. And then, oh wow, that's a lot of choices, ridiculous. I think it's the first choice, right? It's this one here, negative 7 to 2. That's what we have in our picture. So let's go with it. Let's be bold and try it. Yes, that's it. I hope that made sense.